One is of concern. 1/4 of all of the hotels is of major concern.
According to the Department of Rev and Tax, out of 39 hotels and motels operating businesses on Guam, 10 were found to be delinquent in paying their hotel occupancy taxes. The matter was first raised by Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz last month when he learned from tourism leaders that uncollected hotel revenue existed within the hotel industry.
The issue is all of them are just scraping by trying to make ends meet. And I can understand that maybe some months, in order to make payroll and all the operation costs, that you might not be able to pay your hotel occupancy tax. Well, then at some point you've got to catch up.
DRT reports $2.1 million in delinquent payments, some dating all the way back to 2004. According to Cruz, while some have less than a dozen months of delinquency, many appear to have multiple years of outstanding taxes. For example, one hotel appears to have failed to remit taxes for 44 months over the last 5 years, owing close to $1 million in hotel occupancy taxes. Rev Tax Director John Camacho, meanwhile, says revenue officers are fully aware and are in communication with those delinquent accounts.
Well, we're still pursuing it. In other words, there's the law allows us to apply interest and penalties, just like any other receivables, whether it's owed by a wholesaler or another company or a retailer. We still impose the interest and penalties as well.
Camacho says the penalties are the same as gross receipt taxes, or 5% per month, not to exceed 25% of the tax. As for interest, he estimates at least 3 to 4%. He further adds the $2.1 million isn't entirely a surprise, considering the delinquent HOTs were built into the nearly $100 million currently sitting in accounts receivables.
Just pay so that we can do what we need to do. If everybody paid their fair share of taxes, we'd have an overabundance of money and we could take care of everything that we need to do.
Cruz, in the meantime, has called for an independent audit of all the hotels, as he felt the summary and past statements from Rev Tax were incomplete and led to even more questions. For instance, he says some of the data he's received have changed at least 3 times since he's inquired.
So I need for somebody to go in. One, I need for them to confirm the number of months that people are delinquent. But more importantly than that, I want them to do some random auditing of some of the reports, because the reporting is honor system.
Cruz does not know, nor would Rev Tax reveal which hotels or motels specifically are delinquent.
I just want everybody out there to know that we're looking at it. And what I'm hoping is that the hotels will not want to be embarrassed, and they'll, today or tomorrow, go bring themselves current.
And just as lawmakers begin to go into the budget sessions, Cruz says knowing all the information would help in determining whether or not changes need to be made to projections to the Tourist Attraction Fund.
Just pay so that we can do what we need to do. If everybody paid their fair share of taxes, we'd have an overabundance of money and we could take care of everything that we need to do.
Camacho, meanwhile, says DRT staff are looking at whether there's evidence of intent, a felony, or fraud, and if so, says there's possibility of referring those accounts to the Attorney General's office. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.